So today we're going to be comparing the Mad Professor Twimble drive to the Mad Professor Supreme drive. The reason behind this comparison is because Mad Professor offers these two large dual channel drive pedals, and I figured why not compare the two of them in case you were trying to figure out which drive you wanted to pick up from Mad Professor. So basically, inside of this demo today, or comparison video, the gear that we're gonna be using is my SVL 61 Reserve with Mark Foley 59 pickups through the pedals into my Fender Deluxe Reverb with a Celestion G12M Creamback. So that's the gear. The way I have it set up right now is that I'm going into the Twimble is going into the Supreme, and the Supreme is going out into my Deluxe. So let's get cracking. Alright, so the first part of this demo I'm going to do is I'm just going to go from the left side of the Supreme to the right side of the Supreme, and then to the left side of the Twimble. So I'm just going to make my way through each one, just so you get an idea of what each one sounds like next to each other. I'm going to have all of the knobs set to 12 o'clock. That way you can get a reference point of just kind of what they're all doing and how much boost they add, and their overall characteristics before I start twisting anything. So I'll give you a sound of the clean tone first, and then we'll get right on with the overall sounds of the pedals. Left side of the Supreme. I'd like to note that I'm on the bridge pickup right now. The bridge pickup's where you can really see a lot of the, or hear a lot of the sounds that are coming out of these drives. So now we're going to move to the other side of the Supreme, which is the one with the white knobs. This side of the Supreme drive is the side that is somewhat related to the left side of the Twimble. Matt Schofield said to the guys at Mad Professor that he wanted the tonal characteristics of the Twimble, but with more headroom and less compression. So when I switch between these two, look and listen for a little bit of compression difference. So if you're looking for more headroom, this side of the pedal is definitely where you want it. But if you're looking for more compression in your tone, perhaps the Twimble. So here's the sound of this pedal. We'll go from clean to it. Yep. so we're gonna go from this side to the Twimble. All right, so let's check it out. Ready? Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna hold one note and I'm gonna go between each drive channel just so you get an idea of like the compression. I feel like that's a good demonstration of compression because it really shows you how long the note's gonna sustain for. So check this out. So on its own without any pedal. Okay, here is the left side of the Supreme. Right side of the Supreme. Left side of the Twimble. This has the most compression. You can really hear that it sustains for quite a bit longer than the other two sides of the pedals. Also, the Twimble seems to be a little bit darker. And a little bit more subdued to the right side of the Supreme. But on the bridge pickup, Alright, so that is just some button mashing there, but basically to give you an idea of them all really close together. So the one thing the Twimble has that the Supreme has in some respects is a boost, I guess you could say. So the Twimble has a true boost in the sense that it has a pre-drive side to the pedal, this right-hand side right here where you have hot and cold. It's a harmonic enhancer, it's also a compressor. It does a whole bunch of stuff to your sound, but I think it actually sounds really nice. Just adds whatever the sound was missing. So the Supreme doesn't quite have this clean boost option, but what it does have, is the ability to stack both sides of the pedals. Well, so if you have it on this left setting right here, it says A/B, you can swap between your pedals or your sides using this left foot switch, and then this turns the pedal on. But when you put it to A+B, then you can actually stack it like this. So then you can get some monstrous sounds out of it. Sounds really cool. This stacking option actually, the way that it works, because it's two drives stacked together, right? So the way that it works is the right side goes into the left side. The right side is modeled after the Twimble. The left side is modeled after the Royal Blue. I gotta sneeze. Oh. Right. So what you can do is use the right side to affect the left side, which is really cool. So turning up the volume doesn't necessarily raise the volume of the actual overall sound all that much, but what it does do is it adds more compression to the sound, because you've already got one overdrive that's slightly compressed going into another slightly compressed overdrive, so you get more compression out of it. You can add more drive to it as well. That being said, it does give you quite a bit of a volume boost. The right amount to the point that you need it for like a solo in the middle of a gig or something. So you can see I turned the drive back on this side, and all it really does when I add it in is it adds a little bit more oomph to the sound, I suppose. It changes the characteristics up a little bit, but it's a perfect like additive, you know, if you're going between rhythm playing to lead playing. So the left side of the Supreme has got great rhythm sound because it cleans up real nice when you turn it back, but then you add that in, you get this fantastic solo sound. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the Twimble uses its boost side. So if I'm playing away on the Twimble, this is how I would set the Twimble myself. Then I got this, I have my rhythm playing. And I also have my lead sounds. Right? And then my solo comes around. I want to add a little bit more oomph and some volume to it. So what do? I add the predrive in. It's got a hot and cool option, so hot really gives you a lot more oomph. Just add that in. For me personally, I find that the Twimble and the right side of the Supreme work real well with the bridge pickup because they're both a little bit darker overdrives, more natural sounding, I suppose. So So on the bridge pickup, strat, which is usually pretty bright sound. So that's a pretty nice feature from the Twimble on the right side of the Supreme. So basically what you're looking at here is you got two drives that do something a little bit different from each other. So the Supreme is two overdrives in one, so it's kind of a double drive pedal. It's more of an overdrive style pedal. The Twimble is a pre-drive and an overdrive. So it's more of the idea of a single overdrive with the option of a boost added to it, as well as just on its own a clean boost. Which is also equally nice. So it depends on what you're looking for as far as the drive pedal is concerned. If you're looking for something that's going to give you a really large range of overdrive options, like a bunch of different tones overdrive-wise, different amounts of compression, and like something that's good for a bunch of different types of guitars, you're probably looking at wanting to get the Supreme, because the Supreme is two overdrives in one with the option of being able to stack them. So really you have three overdrives because it's stacked on its own is basically a super huge overdrive with a compression knob and a presence knob. See, you have two trebles, calling one of them presence, right? Two bass knobs and two volume knobs, which is very cool. However, there is not too much of an option of a clean boost, and the boost itself is not as loud as the Twimble. So that's where we come along to the Twimble. The Twimble has more compression than the Supreme does. The Twimble's also got a better, I suppose, a darker sounding overdrive to it, and it too has a lot of overdrive opportunities. However, it's more, it's easier to use, I suppose, because it doesn't have the option of switching in between them on the middle, like this, where you can play them both at the same time. But also, you can have this thing on your pedal board and get rid of your clean boost, right? Because it has this clean boost option right here. The Simble Predrive. Also, you have contour and accent knobs, which work a little bit like bass and treble, but they're just a little bit different, where accent actually controls more of the EQ in the sense that it changes how much pick attack you have in your sound. So check this out. So if I pull it back, there is some pick attack, but a lot of it's taken away by compression. But if I really add it back in again, you can hear my pick a lot clearer. And that, if you didn't notice, I didn't move the knob too much, but you get a ton of difference in the sound there. The contour knob affects the output sound, the output brightness, the overall brightness and darkness of your tone, right? So if I pull the contour way back, you almost have that Eric Clapton, I think he calls it the woman tone. Right? Bring it forwards, output brightness overall, it's brighter. It really affects like the top end of your sound. So if you notice, the bass sound of it all is about the same as what it was before. It was the shape of the sound, but there's this added sparkle on top from the contour. Sensitivity is all your drive, right? You can have a very little amount of drive. this like near overdrive sound, or you can have a lot of drive. Which of course can be all affected by the pre-drive. So the Twimble goes for a different style of overdrive, I suppose, where it's also more of the Dumble sound that you would get. So now I'm going to swap over to my Tele here, which has a little 59 humbucker in the bridge, and I'm going to show you what all 4 parts of these pedals sound like with a humbucker. Okay, so now I've got my Tele here. My father built this and slapped a Fender neck on it, but it's basically a solid slab of mahogany with a little 59 in the bridge. Seymour Duncan little 59 is like a mini humbucker. It has big humbucker vibes. Big humbucker energy right there. So let's start with the left side of the Supreme Drive. Now let's switch over to the other side of the Supreme, which is going to be the Twimble flavored side. Awesome. So you get a little bit less drive, the 12 o'clock position from that side. Let's switch over to the Twimble. I'd like you to note how full the Twimble sounds, because it's got a little bit more compression, and it's a tiny bit darker. It's got a little bit less headroom than the Supreme does. You get this massive sound out of it, whereas the Supreme's a bit more dynamic. Twimble's a little bit larger sounding because it's less dynamic. Okay, so now I'm gonna set them up the way I'd use them personally. All right, so for me, on the Supreme, I like to have the drive about here, and so as well as the volume. Volumes I like just a little bit up, just so they boost my sound a little bit. I like to have the treble up a bit and the bass right where it is. On this pedal, on this side, on the Supremes, on the right side of the Supreme, I like to have the treble backed off a bit, the bass up a tiny bit, the drive about here, and that like that. That gives me, at least on my Strat, it gives me a little bit more fatness. On my Tele Paul here, it gives me just some real juicy tones. Sensitivity on this pedal, I like to have it about there. Accent here, as well as contour, and I usually have it set to the cool setting, level up a bit as well. So check out what this sounds like. Neck pickup of my Tele. Pickup. So now we'll switch over to the other side of the Supreme. See, that has got a lot of growl to it. Maybe a little bit more treble. I usually have the treble backed off a lot from my Strat because the bridge pickups are very bright on Strats, but maybe with this I'll have it into awesome. Neck pickup. Awesome. Now let's switch over to the Twimble. It's definitely got that Dumble sound, that's for sure. Lot fatter sounding drive. More compression. Oh, come on. I think I'm a bit too close. But yeah. without the cool engaged. I engage the cool and I'm going. The nice thing, what I like about the Twimble is how in control it is of its sound. Even with all this drive, you can still hear basically all of the notes pretty dang clearly. Let me show you what the neck pickup sounds like on this. Alright, let's go back and forth between the right side and the left side of the Supreme. So yeah, you can really hear the compression coming off of the Twimble there versus the Supreme. It depends on what you as the player enjoys. Both these pedals sound great. That being said, the Predrive offers that option of pushing your amp in that direction. How much level do I have, Chris?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So if I bring my amp up to about 5, Deluxe likes that a little bit crunchy on me here. Now, I could use the drives, but the nice thing the Twimble offers, again, is that clean boost, which on a tube amp will let me push it to the point of distortion. So check this out. Give it a little bit more. Put it to hot. I apologize for my out-of-tune guitar at this moment. Alright, I think that just about concludes this demo of today. If you guys have any questions about either of these pedals, please feel free to drop a comment below. I will also post in the description of where you can find these pedals to purchase. In the description there will be timestamps of everything that have happened in this video in case you hadn't found them already and you decided to watch this 40-minute long comparison video all the way through. If you did, thank you very much. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. There will be more stuff like this coming soon. If you haven't seen them already, or if they're not out yet, stay tuned. We will be having just a demo of the Twimble, an in-depth demo of the Twimble, and an in-depth demo of the Supreme Overdrive. Those will both be coming up soon. Where I use my Strat, and I also have a Gibson ES275, which decided to feedback like crazy, and that is also featured in those videos. Gotta love a bit of hollow body feedback, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. Have a nice day.